Welcome to Happy Hour with Bob and Sheri. Heather's with us, of course, running everything. I am in Mary's studio here, and not her studio, her actual office, because got some technical problems here. So if my face looks like it's on fire or Casper the Ghost, that's why. Welcome.
God, it's always something, isn't it? Cheers, everybody. Cheers. Mm. Well, just a few minutes ago, my elderly cat, Miss Esme, knocked a full glass bottle of olive oil off the counter
Mm,
and it shattered on the floor, and glass and oil went everywhere.
that's not a good thing.
And I'm just going to be honest with you. That was it for me. That was that was the fork sticking in me saying I'm done. And I just
Hmm.
stood there and started to cry. And Karamia immediately whipped into action, cleaned it up, got a vacuum, swept up, vacuumed the glass. Um,
Good
but
for
there's
her.
olive oil everywhere. So I guess what I'm saying is I'm going to be taking a few days off because we're moving. Because I
do, you,
don't see any other way.
do you know how I know what a mess that is? I mean, we've all, dealt with olive oil if you cook it all. But I was at uh, Charlotte Douglas Airport once waiting on somebody, and the bags came off the little bag carousel thing there. And all of a sudden, an olive oil can, like right out of The Godfather, this
Hey,
big.
Mary June. Oh, like a metal one?
Yeah, yeah, this big came off, and the screw top loosened, and gallons.
Oh
I,
my
I think it
God.
was probably a 3 gallon tin. Somebody bringing probably from Italy.
Oh my God.
Just started pouring out and just wiped out the entire baggage carousel. I just stood there with my jaw dropped, and I don't remember who claimed it. I don't remember anything, but I've never seen such a horrifying mess in an airport before, and that's saying something. So I know a little bit about what you're going through.
The broken glass is the concern because the
Yeah,
bottle shattered. We only found 3 big pieces. The bottle splintered, and the glass, I mean, Karamia vacuumed everything but the driveway.
right.
Um, and I have to say, and we've all kind of had that experience. Listen, I've had far worse days. I used to play Russian roulette with my daddy and in the middle of the night, and that wasn't fun. I've had worse days. But there are days when weeks and times when um, you're just one more thing away from a complete psychotic break. Not only did I stand there and just cry from
I'm so sorry.
from mental exhaustion as much as anything. Um,
I'm so sorry.
but in that moment, I'm looking at the glass and the oil, and I'm watching it just spread. And I thought to myself, you can do 3 things right now. You can pull yourself together and clean this up. You can stand here and cry and let Karamia clean it up. Or you can get your keys, you can get in your car, you can drive toward the setting sun, all this noise and everything that goes with it, and start over. And I have to tell you, I was sorely tempted to go with number 3. Sorely tempted. But
Yeah,
I didn't.
it's
Here I am.
good. Well, I'm glad you are. I think Heather and I could carry on, but it wouldn't be the same. It's been tough here. I've got part of the internet out. I don't know if it's just the heat, everything that's going on. About every fourth person who's commenting, and thank you folks very much. We try to get as many of your comments on and notice where you're from. Dory, I think, was from Beverly Hills. Well, isn't that nice, Dory? I wish I was there with you too.
Might be
That
Beverly Hills,
blows my
Florida,
mind.
though.
Huh?
It might be Beverly Hills, Florida. So we don't know that it's Beverly Hills, California before we get all irritable with
I know I'm not getting irritable. Could California could not pick us up? They can get us. How does that
Oh
work?
yeah. Well, I mean,
They
people
can get us
listen to the
there.
podcast in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah,
So it's not a question of
I've never heard of Beverly Hills, Florida. I know Beverly. I know Hollywood, Florida. Is there Beverly Hills,
I
Florida
think there's
too?
a Beverly Hills, Florida
Really?
too.
Yeah.
Um
Anyway, so I've got I had an electrician guy come over who is actually working on the deck that's been built. Noah started the deck actually in the back with some of the extra wood. It's taken a while, and something went wrong and with the drills. I think they had too much power. And so I now have lights that are left on permanently overnight at least. And I can't get, this is why I'm in Mary's office. I can't get internet in part of the house. It's just crazy. But I am so proud of myself. I just took a deep breath. I talked to her in Charleston earlier. She's with some girlfriends. And she said, "How you doing?" I said, "There's some stuff going on, but I'm okay." And that's
Yeah.
a big jump for me.
Yeah. I mean, you just have to keep going.
Yeah.
Last night, we keep the pantry door closed because one of our cats acts like he's never been fed, and he eats people food and then he gets sick. And you're looking at the cleaning crew for when the cat gets sick.
Oh yeah.
So we'd been doing a very good job of keeping Charles Xavier out of the pantry, but he was in there last night, and we didn't know that he was hiding in the pantry like a GD serial killer. And we closed the door and went to bed.
Oh
And
no.
and you know what Charles did, Bob? He had himself a little Cheez-Its party. Yeah. Yeah, he did. The cat has no thumbs and no scissors. He opened a box of Cheetos. Then he opened the plastic bag inside the box, which is more than I can do some days. You know how the plastic bags inside cereal
So
boxes, cracker
irritating.
boxes
So
are the
irritating.
worst
Yeah.
design ever? This cat, who has the IQ of a spoon, opened the box, opened the plastic box, climbed inside it, gorged himself on Cheez-Its, and then at
Mm.
about 3:30 in the morning began making this noise. Of course, I didn't hear it because my insomnia doesn't wake me up until right around 4, right? It woke Kevin up. He goes out to trace the to trace the noise down. He follows the noise to the kitchen. He opens the pantry and flips on the light. The cat is like, ah, like we all are after eating an entire box of Cheez-Its.
I was going to say, that sounds like me when I finished the
Super
whole
relatable.
pizza. Yeah, right.
Now, I'm happy for Charles. We've all eaten an entire box of Cheez-Its. We've all been there. And we celebrate each other like, yeah, girl, you ate a whole box of Cheez-Its. I'm thrilled for the cat. But let me tell you what I did right before the Esme broke the glass bottle full of olive oil over my kitchen. I headed into the litter box and dealt with the Cheez-Its as they were processed through his body. And I'm here to tell you, a liquefied Cheez-It is nothing you want to cope with.
Welcome, folks.
Horrifying.
This is a big opening for us tonight
Yeah.
on Happy Hour.
I am not in the habit of fronting or lying or pretending to be something I'm not. You are looking at one crazy biatch right now. I have just had all I can have. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers to everybody. Well, I'm a complete phony, so folks, you're going to enjoy my entertainment here tonight. Let's see what's going on. Well, a lot of UFO stuff you should be very excited about because you've been saying that there are aliens out there. They're going to come and zap us and eat the young for years and years. And now we have these really amazing pilots
If
who
you're
that you are totally believable, testifying in front of Congress, saying that what's the deal with they saw a Tic Tac? Was that the
I will
shape?
I will talk about this. I want to first shout out a couple of people, and then
Okay.
if y'all are up for some spooky woo, we'll talk about
right.
UAPs in the hearing. I want to say hey to Medina or Medina. I'm not sure how you pronounce your beautiful name, Pool, who said hello from Williamstown, West Virginia. My kid lifted the immersion blender out of the big pot of pumpkin soup with a whole house full of people at Thanksgiving one year, but we survived barely.
Oh
That
my.
was a pumpkin soup hurricane right there.
Wow.
Miss Sarah, hey girl, my cat got sick at some point while I was asleep last night. On my pillow, I wanted to die.
Oh no. Oh my God. What we do for these animals.
Sarah,
It's unbelievable.
Sarah, you know I love you. I didn't think I had a laugh in me right now. Thank you for that. I feel your misery. I'm in solidarity. Um, Patty Williams says, so thankful my cat was trained not to get in anything but the chair, couch, and bed. Girl, are you from another damn planet? How did you train a cat to do anything?
I was
Write a
going to
book.
say they're just about, speaking of animals, you know what I saw the other day? I just saw this today. There are only two animals in the world that understand pointing. Well, here's one of them right over here. Come here, you. Up. It's dogs.
Who's
Up,
the other
up.
one?
What do you think it is? What do you think it is? Kiss. Thank you. The other one is an elephant.
Oh, they're brilliant. They're
Dogs and
sentient.
elephants, and
Yeah.
and this one over here, get in the picture when I'm talking to you. This one over here, I can take him out walking. Turn to the camera so people see you. Thank you. I can take him out walking, and I go there. He will change. He changes direction just like that. Allie can't believe it.
He's a very smart dog.
He is.
And I say that as someone who had a very not smart dog who I loved very, very much. And he was my BFF. But that dog had 3 brain cells sparking off each other, and none of them told him where to go to the bathroom or what to bark at. Right.
Right, right.
Finn is very, very smart. So let me put it out there to everybody that's with us at happy hour tonight. Do you want us to talk about the UAP thing? Um, or would you like to hear more about what I found in the litter box and how Cheez-Its make their way through a cat's
Oh, look,
digestive
everybody's
system?
interested in extraterrestrials all of a sudden.
So, not to get too like woo, but we don't really know that we're dealing with extraterrestrials. And so now I take you deep, deep, deep into the world of those of us who live on UFO Twitter and have pursued this subject for me, it's been my whole life. If you've ever listened to the Oddcast or True Weird Stuff, I've told 2 stories about lost time incidents, one with me and one with my family. We grew up in Wyoming where there was no light pollution, no airport, nothing. We saw things. My mother's had experiences. We're a spooky family. And I've been made fun of my whole life. The Bob and Sheri show has lost business from entities that are like, she's way too into UFOs. So, I mean, I've suffered for this. And bitches, I'm here to tell you the vindication is so sweet. Because what we got yesterday in that congressional hearing is not everything that we wanted. It's certainly not everything those of us that are really deeply into this subject wanted, but we got something that was absolutely historic. We had 3 witnesses, extraordinary witnesses who have served this country with honor. We had a, a military pilot in Ryan Graves, Lieutenant Ryan Graves. We had a Navy pilot in Commander David Fravor, and we have a decorated combat veteran with multiple top secret clearances, security clearances in the intelligence community, multiple intelligence agencies in David Grush. And they told us point blank, we don't know what this is. It's not from here. It's not from China or Russia. There's no way this technology is from Earth. Our material sciences, our science and our physics aren't there yet.
Have they
So
eliminated Kardashian plastic surgeons
they
completely?
did, which was not an easy thing to do. Have you seen Kylie Jenner's lips? Like, I'm not even sure they're of this world.
Right.
But so we don't know what it means yet, but we are in, I believe. So I'll put myself out there and say I believe that we are in the opening days of a planned disclosure rollout. And you know what? I know it's scary and I know it's shocking and I know that having reality pulled out from underneath you is hard. But let me say this. It's always been there. You just didn't know. Even Einstein, I don't know if you're aware of this, but before Einstein died, he said, we live in a world where we can only perceive with our 5 senses, but there are layers and layers and layers to reality that we simply cannot perceive. We're so, so very limited. So don't be frightened. Don't be freaked out. Just take a deep breath and go, nothing has changed. What was true yesterday is still true today. Your faith in the creator is still there. The fact that you got to vacuum your living room and go to work tomorrow is still there. That hasn't changed. But we as a not just as the American public, but we as human beings, deserve to know what we're dealing with. How dare any government agency, however secret or well funded or concealed behind layers and layers and layers of obfuscation, how dare they deny the people, our species, of this knowledge? Like, absolutely not.
Well,
So
the
it's
only
tricky.
thing, can I just jump? I understand what you're saying, and I'm for disclosure of almost everything. The only thing I would say is that if there has been some secrecy and they're worried about national security, not against our own people, but we have some enemies in the world. So if we have some information that we prefer they not have, I'm okay with that pretty much because North Korea is a horrific place, as is Russia and frankly China. So the people who run national security are very smart people. I don't think there's anything evil about them. I don't think they're doing things just to be like Dr. No. They may
Um,
have other they had other reasons for being careful.
so, couple of things. There is nothing more delicious than a secret. And there's nothing more intoxicating than being part of a circle where you have knowledge that other people don't have. And so I do think that initially we did have noble and altruistic goals in withholding this information. And in case you think that America is the only place where this is happening, no.
No, that is true.
This is happening all around the world.
Right.
Now, we are a warring, angry, aggressive species. And so, of course, our first thought is let's take this technology and make a great big weapon and go after the other tribes. When in reality, one of the things that David Grush, the decorated combat veteran intelligence officer who is a federally protected whistleblower, one of the things he's been saying is, this technology that we're reverse engineering, it has the power to give us things like clean energy, right? Now, there is an agenda to prevent that from happening because there are enormous numbers of corporations and individuals who stand to lose a buttload of money if we're not hooked on fossil fuels. Just as
Totally.
an example.
Yeah.
So I don't want to get I'm not wearing my tinfoil hat, so the aliens can read my mind. But all I'm saying is, what a time to be alive. And if it's been happening all along and you've been getting through the day, going to work and taking a shower and eating cake and watching TV, no problem. It's going to keep going.
We hope. Yeah, we hope
And
it's an interesting time.
I
It's an
want to tell you
interesting
guys
time.
something really positive about all of this, okay? This is really positive. So, one of the there if you're really deep into this subject, there have been a lot of leaks and a lot of things disclosed, and a lot of things that have been floating out there that we couldn't really confirm and still can't really confirm. But one of the things that is floating out there is the idea that human beings are containers for souls. And if that doesn't help you sleep tonight with a smile on your face, dude, I can't help you. If we are, in fact, marvelous soul containers and we don't die, and there's more to it than the meat, God bless. Don't you want to know more? Aren't you curious? Don't you want
I
to
feel
know
like a container of a soul that you could purchase at Lowe's. You know,
Well, you're fancy because
I
I'm
just
dollar store today.
really
I gotta
okay.
tell you.
All right. Anyway, it's interesting stuff, and I've been drawn into, as some of our listeners have pointed out, I've been drawn into it on a more positive way with these patriots who have been testifying before Congress. So, what else is going on? Well, I saw the Barbie movie. That was one thing. I went to see Oppenheimer, but it was sold out. And so I said, when does Barbie start? And they said, oh, you're a single man. Hmm. And I said, yes, I am. And don't judge me. They said, there's 3 seats. And I said, where are they? He said, there's 2 right down in the front, and there's 1 to the right in the very back. I'll take the one on the right in the very back. I thought it was so terrific. I laughed so many times. It's so brilliantly directed. It is so, every actor is so perfect for their role. There are there are jokes in there that you really have to pay attention to. and some of them, it depends on your generation whether you get it or not. But it's a wonderful, wonderful movie, and I think it's going to be a classic.
Kara Mia and her friend are heading out tonight. They have
Oh
tickets
yeah,
to go see it tonight. Yeah, and then Kara Mia said that that we can go see it together, like maybe on Sunday. So she'll go see it again with me. My other daughter saw it and called me and said, "Mom, you have to go see the Barbie movie. It's going to destroy you. You're going to be a puddle of tears," because it's a lot of it too is kind of a mother daughter thing. And I loved Barbies. I was so. How old were y'all when you stopped playing with Barbies? Bob was
I
about
was I was I
17.
was 14.
I
Yeah,
thought you were a little older when you finally
no,
gave up the
14, and
Barbie.
I just gave it up.
I I was such a late bloomer and so not worldly as a kid because I was living in the woods with no TV. I played with Barbies like I right through 8th grade, which was really late, I think. But I loved Barbie. I'll tell you what I loved about Barbie. Um, I loved that you could project your own everything onto Barbie. Like I had friends whose Barbies wanted to be school teachers, friends whose Barbies wanted to be doctors. My Barbie was a rodeo cowgirl for a while. Like Barbie was a way to kind of project yourself out and play at like the adult reality of being a grown up woman. I loved it. I love Barbie. I can't wait to see the movie.
It is so stylish. So the detail. Randy Meisner just died from the Eagles. Someone just posted.
Oh god, that's what the heck? He wasn't old enough. Like what happened to Randy
I'm
Meisner?
looking. I'm looking down here, trying to see if I don't even want to deal with that. I'm so tired of these phones. What we were talking about,
The Barbie thing.
the detail. Um, that really threw me there for a moment there. The detail of the Barbie movie is just fantastic. She's in the pink and white Corvette, with a shell on the side, and she's going to the land of reality. And you see in the ads, you'll see her driving along, and her head is above the steering wheel. But when you see the movie, it's actually one of those. It's a bigger version, but one of those little cars that sometimes if you have enough money you give your grandchildren that are
The
like little
Barbie Jeep.
jeep like
Yeah.
jeeps. It's basically a Barbie Jeep, and then all of a sudden you realize it's not going any faster than a Barbie
The
Jeep.
Barbie Jeep.
It's going like 2 miles an hour.
That's epic. That's so good.
It is
You
so
know,
good.
you know
I
what else
loved
is
it.
cool about Barbie? Like there were always, like there were kids who had Barbie's Corvette and Barbie's dream house and all of Barbie's clothes and Barbie's shoes and Barbie's dog and Barbie's friends. But even if all you have were a couple of hand-me-down Barbies, you could make your own house. And my friends, so when I was little out west, my best friends were two sisters, Patty and Renelle, and we would play Barbies, and we would make our Barbies clothes because we didn't. First of all, we lived in the middle of freaking nowhere, where you can. And this is pre-Amazon.com. Where are you getting Barbie outfits, right? But their mom would give us like fabric scraps and like she might have like a blouse that she didn't want anymore and we could cut it up and make our Barbie clothes. It was
Oh my
extraordinarily.
God. This is like a Dickens
It's
novel
not,
or
Bob.
something.
No, no, you're not.
I'm out there in the plains with my daddy with a gun. There's
You're
no
not
heat, and I
hearing this
gotta make my
right.
Barbie clothes out of scraps.
It
I
was
made
Holy,
my own Barbie dress out of scraps of, like,
yeah.
a t-shirt
really?
that didn't fit anymore and some, like, random gauzy fabric that was left over from a project. I still have that Barbie with that dress that I made somewhere in this house.
It was creative. Like, I
Mhm.
can tell you that as a little girl making Barbie clothes, I never felt the least bit deprived. In fact, I was like, "Oh, I can't believe your mom's letting us cut this blouse up," right? We made Barbie's clothes, we made Barbie furniture. We would take like cardboard and make it into chairs and paint it or color it with crayons. It was so creative and so fun. And, as a mom of daughters, I was hoping that my kids would, of course, replicate that, but they were born in a different time and they had Polly Pockets and screens. And so they had Barbies, But they didn't love them the way I did. So somebody for Christmas gave Olivia and Karamia a Barack Obama doll it was Barbie sized. Barack was a little bit bigger than Barbie. And I'm here to tell you, if you think Ken gets no respect, you should have seen Barack Obama with no pants on, upside down in a toy box.
Hey, better Barack than Bill Clinton.
Listen, oh, there's no Bill Clinton doll. I mean, there's just something about it's not just Ken, bless his heart. But there's just something about it. Like you have no use for Ken. And I don't know if you've seen this trend
Well,
on
that
TikTok.
plays out in the movie, by the way, and
I
in
know,
in a sad Ken way.
There's a thing going around on TikTok right now that is hilarious. Heather's probably seen it. It's women posting about their husbands and boyfriends.
Yes.
So like it's like, this is my Ken. His job is river. He came with a kayak and a life vest. And it's like her actual boyfriend, right?
Because Ken is beach Ken.
Yeah, this is my Ken. His job is couch. It's just so
That's so funny.
It's so fun to watch. Yeah.
Bob, yours would be if Mary did yours. This is my Ken. It'd be a picture of you. His job is radio, or his job is talking, and you would have your little microphone accessory.
That's true. And I have a little microphone. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
So, in retrospect, did I want the Barbie dream house and the fancy store-bought Barbie clothes? Of course I did. I was a kid. But now that I look back on it, I had much more creative fun making my own Barbie furniture and my own Barbie house. And
I'm just glad that you and I didn't turn into one of those Ken and Barbie shows that are on radio stations around the country. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I mean, everybody listening knows those shows. It's a boy-girl show, and it's just so superficial, and the girl is always in the back seat, and oh, Randy, why did you say that?
Bob, I can't believe you just said that. You're so bad.
I'm just we had some competitors once, and they called up, they had their minions call up and flood our telephone lines so nobody could get through. But thankfully we had a great IT staff, and it wasn't a problem. They couldn't believe that our staff was that good to get rid of them. But one of them commented, I saw later, oh yeah, that's a boy-girl show. I hate those people. You and I were so different from all of those shows, and a couple of shows tried to rip us off and all, but I never wanted to be on one of those shows. I think I'd rather drive a truck than be on one of those shows. I mean, it was one of the reasons that I was so attracted to doing the program with you, was because, I knew I was going to be getting a very smart, very glib, very funny pain in the ass. And that would be the only thing that would keep me interested in doing something like this. The idea to do one of those Ken and Barbie shows, oh my God, I'd rather not be in the business.
Listen, I have more in common with a pro hockey goalie than I do with Barbie the doll. I mean, who are we kidding?
Yeah, that's
sometimes like we'll be working, and during breaks we'll talk about stuff. Either we'll talk about what we're going to do next or something that's in the news. And we were talking about, I forget what it was, but I went off on some foul Philadelphia tirade, and at the end of it there was a pause, and Bob said, "That's my little blossom right there."
Somebody just said, I just saw a boat this afternoon that said it was named Lil Naughty, and I thought of Bob. Thank you so much. Oh yeah,
that's Bob's rap name.
Yeah, that was my rap name from like 10 years ago. Thank you very, very much for remembering that. That's funny. That's funny.
I'm so excited to see this movie, and I would have seen it by now, but we've had quite a bit going on in this family, like quite a bit.
I was supposed to see it this past weekend, but my weekend got away from me, and I'm hoping I get to see it this weekend, because when I tell you, since this movie was announced, I have been planning the outfit I would wear to this premiere.
Right? I said to Karamia, because we're going to go on Sunday, I hope, and I was like, I know just what I'm going to wear. I don't have a lot of pink stuff. I have enough pink stuff.
I think I have more pink stuff than you do.
I think you do. think you do. My whole like if you walk into my closet, I'm a Capricorn, so I
I'm
hang
gonna
my
get I'm gonna get a little glass of
yeah,
wine
go
and
ahead.
talk to
I
the
hang
audience.
my clothes in color. So, the section of my closet where there's actual color is really small, and then the rest of it is a symphony of grays and black. I just don't have a lot of colorful clothes, but I do have some pink stuff, girl, and I am showing up for Barbie in my pink
I
because
cannot wait.
total respect.
I
Um,
This movie, what I have seen online seems to me mean so much to women. It's just like an opportunity to just be silly, goofy women and dress up and do something. It's like a cultural thing for us.
Well, there's a lot, like Olivia, my daughter, was trying to explain why the Barbie movie was going to resonate so much for me. It resonated for her, but it's different.
Mhm.
My girls know like how important Barbie was to me and what a huge part of my imagination and childhood Barbie was. But my girls have also been raised with a mother who, I mean, I've been working full time since I was 14. I never had a maternity leave. I mean, I've just been a grinding bear. And I work in an industry that is very misogynistic. And I've had to deal with a lot of real tools. And it's been hard, and there are days when you just come home and just bang your head on the wall because you're like, asshole. My girls have grown up watching me fight and fight and fight and fight. And so they're like, the Barbie movie is going to speak to you, mom. And Heather, you know what? I think you're right there with me. I
Yeah.
think it's going to speak to us in that way.
I I had a couple of Barbies. I was like your girls, I had my Polly Pockets because I'm younger. And Polly Pocket was kind of the thing in the 90s, in particular. But Barbie is still such an important part of girlhood, I think.
Oh, they're making a Polly Pockets movie. Can we
Yeah.
talk about Polly Pockets? Oh my God.
I was
Karen
hoping.
Karen Mia went through a Polly Pockets phase. Here's the deal with Polly Pockets. She fits in your pocket. And you know what that means? All of her accessories can't be seen by the human eye. Like you need a microscope. And it'll be this was my life for a solid 2 years. It's 5 minutes after bedtime. Here we come. I can't find Polly Pockets magnifying glass. Polly Pocket's magnifying glass, y'all, was about the size of a grain of rice. Well, honey, tiny teapot, baby girl, where did you last have Polly Pocket's magnifying glass? We were in the yard looking for ladybugs. Oh, so you've lost a plastic magnifying glass the size of a grain of rice in the backyard. Is that what you're telling me? Oh, mommy, I can never sleep again. I had so many nights like that with Polly Pocket's shoe, Polly Pocket's laptop, Polly Pocket's handbag, Polly Pocket's milkshake, her sunglasses. Polly Pocket's sunglasses, you need an electron microscope to see those bitches. That's how small they are. Mom, I think they went down the drain. Can you call a plumber? Yeah, baby girl. I think getting a plumber out here at $95 an hour at 10 p.m. on a Tuesday night to pick a pair of plastic Polly Pocket sunglasses out of the drain sounds like an excellent use of mommy's time and money. Oh, I have so much Polly Pocket PTSD, Heather. So much. So much.
I
It
was a
is
Virgo child.
it is amazing the difference between growing up, especially when we grow up. Now I'm a good deal older than you are, but growing up years ago, um, I grew up playing with guys in the neighborhood, and we played war. That's what it was called. You want to play war? I'm going to play war, and we would meet. There'd be like 8 or 9 guys. I remember two of the guys were the Purple Brothers. That was their last name, which I to this day am jealous of. I mean, don't you think Bobby Purple would have been a great
Oh,
name?
what a good radio name.
Is that not a good radio
That's
name?
such a good radio name.
Yeah, the Purple Brothers. And they weren't twins, but they were like a year apart and they were older. So it was the Purple Brothers, Charlie Hale, who I've talked about on the show, who
Because his head was so big.
he had a very, very big head, and his parents gave him like a not a buzz cut, but almost a buzz cut. But in the summer, they didn't want to spend the money, so it would grow out just a little. And his head was big, and he had really blonde hair. He looked like a walking sun, right? So he was an easy target, Charlie Hale. And then there were, I don't know, 3 or 4 people that I don't even remember anymore. So we would meet, and America is an interesting place. Every boy of my generation, for like Christmas, got play guns. You know, you got
Oh, my brothers too.
cowboy
Ray guns and
guns,
slingshots.
cowboy,
Yeah.
yeah, but a lot of guns. And we go out there, and somebody would have to be the Nazis, and then we would be the U.S. troops, and we'd ferret them out and running all around through the backyards. And actually, with the exception of the whole idea of shooting your friends, it was very cool. My father brought home from World War II and put in his drawer uh, a Nazi officer's automatic weapon, as automatic as they could be. It was a steel cased gun with a heavy handle that was
But a real gun.
real gun, dark red. Now, there were no bullets in it. He didn't bring any bullets home from the war with this, but he somehow got this Nazi officer's gun, and it had a cool case also, a leather case. And it just sat there like an artifact. And occasionally, when, word got out that we were going to have a war, like on a Saturday in the spring, every once in a while, I would go and get that without telling anyone, hook it up to my belt on my jeans, and I would pull it out, and I'm walking around the neighborhood
Oh my gosh.
with a silver German officer's gun,
You would have been the lead story on CNN if that
without a
happened
doubt.
today.
Without that's I was going to say local
Connecticut boy plays war with Nazi pistol. Like it
with
would be
Nazi
just like
pistol.
the biggest
And
news story.
and it, I'm this big. The thing was as big as my arm.
Yeah.
Can you imagine a kid walking down your street doing?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, it's crazy. My brothers played war. I played war with my brothers unwillingly. I was their prisoner. They would come and abduct me and take me behind enemy lines and interrogate me. And I can't tell you how many things I confessed to just to get away from them. I mean, I confessed to the bombing of Pearl Harbor one day.
Did
Because
you
my
really?
pop-up was in the Navy, so my brothers were obsessed with the Pacific theater of World War II.
Right.
And my brother, he's got me pinned down, and he's like, "Say it, you're a kamikaze pilot." Like I knew what that was. Like I knew, like at all what
Yeah.
that was.
Yeah.
The other toy that my girls played with, Karamia in particular. How many of you have calico critters trauma? Bob, do you know what a calico critter is?
No,
Or aren't you the
no
lucky
idea.
one? I want you to picture small, they're about yay big, mice. And they're made of plastic, but they're covered in like soft, felty material. So they're soft when you touch them. And they wear little aprons and little train conductor hats and little bow ties and little vests and little hoop skirts. And they come, accessories are always sold separately. You can buy a collection of incredibly intricate little wooden tables and tablecloths and cups. Calico critters, like you can buy your kid calico critters, or you can buy a dime bag because it's roughly the same price. Somebody gave Karamia a set of calico critters for like 7th birthday gift. And Karamia was like, I am in the world of calico critters now. Well, I didn't know. I didn't know what we were dealing with. So Karamia had gotten a really good report card. I mean, you're 7, so a good report card means you didn't eat paste or kick the teacher. But we had a really good report card. And I said, if we'll go get a calico critter. We went to the toy store. And I was like, well, we can get this calico critter or mommy can retire someday. These are our 2 choices. It
Really?
was so ridiculous. It was so ridiculous. And they're still for sale and they're still outrageous. because I was in a toy store buying a birthday gift for a baby and decided to go check out the Calico Critters. And yeah, you can pay your mortgage or you can buy your kid a family of mice having a picnic. Those are your choices. Your mortgage or the mice go on a picnic. That's it. There's no other option. It is insane.
Toy prices in general, I mean, I have nieces and nephews, so I wander down the aisles, and they seem to be just like outrageous.
Well, I will
You know
say
what
that
the scam was that Landon played on Kristen, my grandson, and she got away with it for over 2 years. She would take him to like Target. This is when they lived in Chicago, and there was a Target. They could go out of their apartment there. And so it's snowy and it's icy and it's nasty, and you're in there with a little kid, and Landon is pregnant, I think. And, what are you going to do? Well, not far from where they lived in downtown Chicago, in Lincoln Park, was a Target, a big one. And she said, I would take him into the toy aisle and tell him,
like a museum.
this is where we visit toys, and you can visit
Smart.
with
I
any
love
toy
Landon.
that you want. And he was so excited every time they went, because he'd pick up, like, I don't know, a tractor truck, and he'd
And
spin the
visit it.
wheels. And then she said, okay, it's time to put it back. Okay. And then they moved down to, and this went on for like a year. And it was the greatest con job of a kid I've ever seen.
She's brilliant.
Yeah,
She is brilliant. That is the way to do it.
I know.
Today is my little twinsies, Harrison and Jennings. Today is their second birthday. They turned 2
Happy
today.
birthday.
Yeah. Yeah. We had a little they were visiting here last week, so we had a family birthday celebration.
Oh,
We had a birthday cake, a giant birthday cake, because there were lots of people there. And it was from Publix, which, Publix birthday cakes are oh my God, they're so good. But this cake was vanilla with balloons on it made of frosting, and it was filled with dulce de leche frosting. And so we shared the cake with lots of like neighbors and stuff. And one of them came over and said, I'll tell you what, that Dolce and Gabbana filling was good. And we all thought we would die. It was so funny. Yeah. Happy birthday, Harrison and Jennings. 2 years
That's
old
great.
already. Our little miracles. Yeah.
Those are a couple of good names, Harrison and Jennings.
Oh my gosh. Their names are Harrison Haskell and Jennings Spencer. And if they don't grow up to be a couple of senators, I don't know what we're doing.
Are they? What are their genders? I don't even know.
They're both boys,
They're both
identical
boys.
twin boys.
Okay.
And they're
Yeah, I have to
cute.
ask, because so many girls have sort of masculine names these days.
Well, and we have so many babies. We have 5 babies in the family now.
Wow.
So we have so many babies, and it's so much fun. Like, because I love little kids. It's so much fun.
Let me
But
know
yes,
when I can come
happy
over when they're
birthday.
all there together, and just take them off your hands for an napkin.
The last time, so one of them is named Ella, and she will be 2 on Christmas. She's our Christmas baby. The last time she was here, she's old enough now. She's 1.5. So she's old enough now that she's walking and starting to talk, and she's really engaged in reality. We would be playing, and suddenly a cat would come into the room, and she
Yeah.
would stop and go like this. It was like a switch got flipped. Cat. And go staggering toward it like Frankenstein. Those were some good days for me, not so good for the cats.
Roxanne just said Harrison was my grandpa's name. He passed away before I was born.
Harrison, I mean, didn't we have a president?
I have nowhere to go with that. I just thought I'd read it.
Didn't we have a president? I mean, I know we had Benjamin Harrison as a president, but I feel
Right.
like we had a president with a first. Maybe it was
Harrison
a
Ford?
middle name.
Harrison
Gerald
Ford?
Harrison Ford? No, that
Is that what you're
He
thinking?
should have been. He should have been.
should have been our president.
You
We've
know,
done
we
worse.
didn't
Yeah.
we didn't talk about that movie. Have you seen that movie? I saw that Indiana Jones movie with Harrison Ford at 80 plus.
When I tell you that I haven't seen anything or done anything this summer, I mean it. And I don't say that in a dramatic way or a self-pitying way.
No,
It
you
just
have those times. Yeah.
the cards just have not been dealt that way for me. I
Yeah.
have not. I saw an Instagram post the other day that made me homicidal with rage. The Instagram post was, just soaking up these lazy summer days. And I was like, bitch, where you live? Because I'm coming to beat you. I'm going to come over there. I'm going to beat you with my whole hands. I'm going to beat you so hard. And then I'm going to get in my car, drive around the block, come back and beat you again, because not all of us are enjoying those lazy days of summer.
But you don't know if she's just saying that. There are so many people who are so full of crap on the internet, on Facebook, wherever, with how their life is. I mean, I know of someone that is really a crappy mother, and kids don't even like her. She's terrible. She's terrible. But she posts these pictures, me and my people. Yeah. Oh, I'm with my people. She gets the one shot where the kids are not, just looking miserable being around her. And when I say kids, these her kids are like heading off to college. And she's been a terrible mother. And all of a sudden she's posting on Facebook all the time, me and my people. Oh, I love, and they all can't stand her. Her husband can't stand her. Her kids can't stand her. Nobody can stand her. But that's part of what Facebook is,
I mean, that's
or
social
social
media.
media in general. I agree.
That's social media.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm looking at like Sarah Kirby, you said, what's that? Lazy summer. I have to work to pay the bills and back to school stuff. We were talking
Yeah.
about this on the show, Bob. Do you remember that for most adults, summer is just like the rest of the year, only sweaty? Like that.
It's true.
Sweaty.
It's like Rodney Dangerfield was talking with a fellow actor, and he says, "Yeah, I was born in Florida. Florida, it's a sauna with gnats." Yeah.
I mean, I should have.
adults,
I
it's the
was too
same way.
busy like crying and having a full breakdown to roll video on my cat. If you're just joining us, right before happy hour, my elderly cat, Miss Esme, knocked a full glass bottle of olive oil onto the floor where it shattered. There were 3 large glass pieces, and the rest of them were micro infinitesimal. And of course, oil is everywhere. That's easy to clean. That's not a problem. I mean, I should have rolled video on that and made an Instagram reel. Because what we do is instead we pick like a moment where we look pretty and everything's perfect, and the condensation is just right on the glass, and we go, these lazy days of summer. Blow me is what I say to that. Yes, my love?
Well, on that note,
My
I'll take
husband,
over for a
wait,
moment.
just as I said,
folks.
blow me, my husband appears in the doorway because he's used to being married to such a dainty princess. You were just looking? Okay. Anyways, I was saying you can just blow me because there is nothing lazy about summer. Most of us are living the same life we live in November, except we're sweating and watching the rest of y'all go to, like, I don't know, St. Lucia. It's infuriating.
The only pass that I give of people who post with that stuff is, if you busted your butt all year long and you ended up in St. Lucia, you saved your coins, and you're really happy, and you just want your friends and family to see what a great time you're having. I think that's great. I think that's great.
Great.
It's
That's
just
great.
it's the
and
bullshit
can
ones
I
that
just
you can see
say-
them a mile away.
Can I just say, Deborah, since you're relaxing on the beach in St. Lucia, hashtag my best life, hashtag beach life, hashtag beach hair, hashtag vacation, hashtag island life, hashtag salt life. Since you're so relaxed, why not blow me? I mean, you're there, right?
Sheri.
I am so sideways about it because it is so curated and fake. And yes, I'm happy that other people get their hashtag vacation, hashtag island life, hashtag salt life. But as adults, most of us, summer is just like the rest of the year. And I
Right.
think that there's nothing wrong with being honest about that and normalizing the fact that, yeah, it's summer and I still have to go to work and do the laundry. I'm not a fan of making people feel less than because they're not living these fabulous lives, Bob.
But there's everything can be measured differently. I mean, for a person that saved all year long and went to St. Lucia, good for you. That's
Yeah,
great.
happy, yay.
I think the ones that are offensive to me are the ones, and I don't know any of these people, but they're on a 80-foot yacht you know, off of the coast of Italy and so on, and are kind of pushing it in your face a little bit. But I think, you know, if you got a good room at Disney and you want to take a shot of it, I'm okay with that. It's just the extravagance that some people go to, and I don't know really any of them, that does make people feel terrible. I mean, I posted a picture of myself. Mary and I do not have a boat, but we belong to a boat club. And so for a certain fee every month, you can get a boat and drive it around, you know, for a certain amount of time. And I posted a picture of myself at the helm of the boat. And I like the picture a lot. And Finn is next to me, and Mary's in the bow of the boat and everything. And I thought that was okay. And a lot of people just said, you know, that was my favorite picture of you I've seen in a while. So I think things like that are really cool. It's just
Um,
the extravagance where you can tell that somebody is trying to say, I got my, well, how's the other half living? And you're the other half.
like, I'm sorry. I'm just going to be allowed to be jealous. Like, why do I have to act like I'm not a person? Like, sorry, Bob, but I look at this and I'm like, B, are you crazy? Like, don't be posting that. People are like, it's a struggle. And Kevin and I were supposed to go on a camping trip together at the end of the summer. And then his truck got totaled. So we don't even know if we're going to be able to do that. And I know you're thinking, yeah, but don't you camp in a tent? You might camp in a tent. This girl was camping in a truck that had a cap on it with an actual mattress. The idea of Kevin was like, well, woman, we can sleep on the ground. The idea of sleeping on the ground and being eaten by a bear in the Colorado wilderness does not appeal to me as much as you might think it would.
Jackie Sapp just said, ignore them asshats, Bob. They ain't real.
They're
You
not
know,
real.
thank you. And asshats is one of my favorite words now. You know, I don't know what it means really. Well, I do know what it
Oh, I
means.
think you know what an
It
asshat is.
well,
Come
but I
on.
mean, it makes no sense. I mean, it's just funny sounding, but it just works 100%, right?
It
Right.
totally works. It makes total sense to me.
Yeah.
Like when you say someone, "Oh, that's an asshat," you know exactly what you're dealing with, right? You know exactly what you're dealing with. And you know, like you count your blessings no matter what. Like I'm lucky that I have a cat and a floor and a bottle of olive oil, right? I'm lucky I have a daughter who cleaned it up for me because
Right.
she saw how upsetting it was. And maybe Kevin and I will get to go camping at the end of the summer, and maybe we won't. And it'll be fine either way. It'll be fine either way. But I'm sorry. Like, why is everybody else allowed to speak the truth? And I'm supposed to be all like, oh, everything's
That
awesome.
is not
No,
you. It's not. You have
no.
never spent any of your career that way. You know that. You have
I'm just not going to
you
do
have
it.
spoken your mind for the last 30 years,
I'm just
and
not doing it.
that is the truth.
And we are not comparing ourselves to Kylie Jenner because that's like comparing a grapefruit, to a Mack truck. We're not in the same world. We are not comparing ourselves to Kylie Jenner.
Can
We
can I
don't.
just can I
We
just
don't
say
have
that
that.
I have never one of the most shocking things in my long life has been discovering that certain people, some of which some of whom are entertainers, some of whom are like the Kardashians. They're just, I guess you could call them some of the original influencers. But I'll include, I think, Beyonce, and I'm not dumping on Beyonce, but it is just shocking to me. I saw a list of how much money they make per post, and some of them are $1.3 million for
Yeah.
one post saying this thong bathing suit doesn't chafe my ass. And you get $1.3 million for doing that. I'm a capitalist, the whole thing, but it just seems wrong.
Well, you know what? Like, I'm glad that you're getting paid to wear that. But where I agree with you is that, wow, the numbers. But then again, I mean, let me put on my tinfoil hat and step over to the other side of the devil's line and say that Kylie Jenner has so many followers who buy anything she points to that that probably is worth $1 million. You know, when you get right down to it.
When you get right down to the business part of it, yes, but it just seems so wrong. Be-
Well,
I
yeah.
mean, I
It's
mean,
a
how much?
weird we're living in weird times for sure.
Yeah,
And here's what's weird about it. Like I'm okay with Kylie Jenner. You make $1 million for taking a thong shot? Okay. But where I'm not okay with it is, all right, so you made $1 million for showing me your butt cheeks, and I have school teachers that can't make rent.
yeah, and the I wish I hadn't said
That's where it gets
thong.
weird for
I
me.
mean, it could be a moisturizer. It could be I don't know, some paint for your nails or whatever it may be. But I saw like a half a dozen of these amounts that celebrities get for just endorsing it, and it's beyond the Kardashians. I mean, there was some action. Well, what's her name? She dated Justin Timberlake for a while. Dark
Britney
hair.
Spears?
No, keep going. She's with Steve Martin in that television show. Why do I lose her name? Dark hair. She's Hispanic. Come on.
Who dated Justin Timberlake?
I think she did.
Because he's married to Jessica
Are you
Long
Biel.
time
talking
ago.
about Selena Gomez, who dated
S-
Justin Bieber?
Oh,
Yeah, she
that's
didn't
right.
date Justin
Okay,
Timberlake.
I
Justin
got my
Bieber.
Justins wrong. Yeah, she's in the top four. She could endorse a pair of shoes, and it's like around $1 million
But I want to say
per
about Selena
post.
Gomez, she uses her social media for
Oh,
good.
I love her. She's great. Yeah,
She has done so much to promote awareness around lupus and mental health. Um, I have a special like love for Selena Gomez because my girls loved watching Wizards of Waverly Place. Like we were big Selena
yeah,
Gomez, Demi Lovato, Disney Channel people.
yeah.
And I feel like Selena Gomez has done so much with her platform, and she's
She
been
has.
she's been honest about her struggles. And here you have this extraordinarily beautiful, talented individual, and she's showing you that, yeah, I may have that, but look what's going on over here. Like she had to get a kidney transplant.
Oh yeah, listen, I'm certainly not denigrating her at all. I think she's terrific, and she's very good in that Murders in the Building thing. I've only watched it the first
Yeah,
season,
only
but
murders in the
she,
building.
yeah, but she was the real star, I thought, in that. She's terrific. My point is, it's just kind of breathtaking. Um, prior
Yeah,
to
the
I guess in my father's
difference.
generation, there were stars on the New York Yankees, guys who actually were some of not Mickey Mantle stars, but they were stars. They were starters in the New York Yankees. And during the summer, they used to sell cars because they just were not making that much money.
Oh,
And these were
yeah.
some of the greatest athletes of their time. It's just breathtaking how
Well,
celebrity has taken over that way.
TV stars of the day didn't make the money or get the residuals that
No, they didn't.
they get
No.
now. And of course,
Yeah.
we're learning thanks to the writers and actors strike that streaming is robbing these people blind. I want to answer a quick question from Mariposa Libra, who's asking where I got my frames. I got these at America's Best, which I think is everywhere, and it's cheap as dirt. These are Karl Lagerfeld, which made me laugh because Bob and I have made so much fun of Karl Lagerfeld, and Bob was actually Karl Lagerfeld for Halloween
For
one year.
Halloween. Yeah.
But I tried them on and I was like, you know what? I don't want to give Karl Lagerfeld my business, but these frames are great. So they're from America's Best, and that's the eyeglass store. They do exams too, but that's the eyeglass store with the talking owl. I'm telling you, cheap as can be. And everywhere I go, from an airport to a gas station, people stop me and ask me about these frames. You do
And
not need to
to
pay a fortune for frames.
and to wind it up, it's not Carl. Don't feel badly. You're not giving your money to Karl Lagerfeld. Carl is gone. That money is going to his cat,
Choupette.
Chupette.
Truly, Bob, your Halloween as Karl Lagerfeld was such a peak life moment.
Yeah. It's the greatest thing I've ever done, actually,
It's
in show
really, it's up
business.
there. I mean,
Yeah.
it's definitely up there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, how is it 8 o'clock already? Don't y'all want to get to back to your lives and families and everything? I have news about the People's Movie Critic. I've been following his travels. Lamar's daughter studied Japanese in college and went to Japan as a college student and loved it so much that when she graduated, she went back to Japan to work, met a man, fell in love. They got married. They have 3 of the cutest kids you have ever seen. But it's hard for Lamar and Carla because she's so far away and they don't get to see her
Right.
very often. So they've spent the last week in Japan just having a blast and doing all sorts of fun things. And they got delayed. One of their flights got delayed, but they've made it. I think they've made it as far as Detroit now. It's 24 hours of flying. So the People's Movie Critic will not be with us tomorrow because he won't be home yet, but he'll be back with us next week, and he'll review Barbie and Oppenheimer and his trip to Japan and all of that. So if you've been wondering where is Lamar, he's been in Japan with his daughter.
There you go. Take care, folks. Be good to each other.
Ooh,
Try to do something that helps the environment, because God knows it needs it right now.
hang on.
The Florida water temperature this week was over 100 degrees. That's hot tub.
That's
That's
crazy,
hot tub.
y'all.
Yeah,
We
it
can't
really is.
be having 100-degree oceans.
Uh-uh.
So we'll see you tomorrow on the regular show. And then tomorrow's episode, if you're a true Weird Stuff podcast listener, tomorrow's episode is a story of the doctor who perfected's the wrong word. We'll say developed the ice pick lobotomy. You know, the old ice pick in the eye socket, tap, tap, tap.
Oh, I know all about. All
This
about this guy.
is
Oh,
when you hear this story tomorrow on True Weird Stuff, you're going to slam on the brakes and go, who's in charge? Do we have anybody in charge in this country? How did these things go down? It is a wild, wild story. And I'll give you just a taste. His now grown son said that when they were kids, so this is back when this guy was a child, this is back in like the 1940s, there were no such thing as refrigerators. People had ice boxes, and the iceman would come and deliver a big block of ice once a week, and you'd put it in your ice box and you could chip ice off of it for drinks. And so people had mallets and ice picks. So this guy now as a grown man said, oh yeah, my dad's first surgical instruments came out of our kitchen drawer.
Wow.
So that's tomorrow's.
What was the copay?
And it was an outpatient procedure. He could do it in 10 minutes. And guess what? The doctor that did this had no surgical training and didn't even believe in washing his hands. Folks, it is a wild, true, weird story. And that's tomorrow's True Weird Stuff. So thank you for being with us tonight. I needed this laugh because Heather will tell you, before we signed on for happy hour, I was literally crying. I was like, I can't go. I'm so tired. I can't do another thing.
I have this effect on women.
Yeah, you do. But only in a good way. You're so charismatic that you drain our batteries.
No, I made you happy. That was.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, you made me happy. You have that effect on women.
Yeah.
Cheers, everybody. We'll see you next time for happy hour. We'll see you tomorrow on the regular show. Love you. Take care. Good night.